I slept with a guy's mom for 10 years. He tormented me in high school. I slept with my friend's mom for 10 years. I'm not going to post many details about myself, but starting when I was like 14 years old, I endured a great deal of torment from one friend in a group of my friends. It lasted for about 4 years. We were a small group of kids and I didn't have a lot of friends. It eventually subsided, and as we got older he was sort of an on/off kind of friend. But I never really recovered emotionally from the trauma I had to endure for those 4 years. On one particularly bad day, this friend called and invited me over to his place to hang out. I headed over, but some other friends had come over after he called and he decided he didn't want me around. So he locked the doors to his house and pretended like he wasn't home. But I could hear him laughing at me, knocking on the door and saying all this really mean stuff about me. So I turned around and went back home, tail between my legs, really humiliated. This one instance was the straw that broke this camel's back. We weren't really friends after that. I eventually got a girlfriend and went away to college. He worked endless dead-end jobs until he met his first wife. Jump ahead 10 years. I'm back visiting family, and on a whim I decide to give this friend's mom a call. She was really a nice person. As a kid she taught me a lot about the arts, creative people, etc. She was a painter and art history teacher, and was very sexy. Her gay brother also lived in her house. I was a smart kid, an artsy nerd. She used to talk to me a lot more than my other friends because I was interested in art and literature and music. So anyway, as we're talking on the phone that day, I asked her to join me for lunch and a day at 2 museums in the city. As it turned out, she was free the next day, so we made it a date. I picked her up and we spent it together: lunch, museums. The whole time she was walking with me and holding my arm. It was really quite nice. I was a young, successful man working in advertising and design in Boston. She was quite happy to parade around with me. As the day was coming to a close, she wanted to go to her favorite bar for a glass of wine. While we were driving there, she was really handsy, touching my arms and shoulders, leaning over and rubbing the back of my head. Things only spiraled from there. We finished the night at a hotel. Why a hotel? Well, as it turns out, this old friend of mine had moved back home and he would have been around, so there was no way we were going back to her place. That night we began what ended up being a 10-year affair. To this day, this old friend has no idea I was sleeping with his mom. She kept it very secret, and on one occasion even kind of hinted that she knew I had to deal with a lot of shit from her son when we were growing up. Whatever it was wonderful. She'd fly to Boston and stay with me for a week twice a year. I'd go back and visit family and spend the week with her. And one summer she even stayed with me in Boston for 2 months. My old friend thought she was at an artist retreat. Nope, she was getting laid every morning and every night, spending her days on the beach while I was at my office, and traveling with me around New England on the weekends. For those 10 years we had a great time, and part of me really liked knowing I was finally getting even with my dickhead old friend. He ended up being a 3x divorced asshole with a lot of problems. He still lives in the same small town, has 4 kids from 2 of his wives. His pride and joy is his pontoon boat. I still see Faye for lunch or dinner when I visit, and she's always very loving and affectionate. But we're no longer having sex. We're more like ex-lovers meeting for lunch in Paris.